Hello team, happy Wednesday. 3 days left of our spring and summer catalog. This season flew. It flew. If you're watching this part, you're probably watching the replay, which is totally fine and a-okay. Just make sure you comment replay when you watched it. It kind of helps me just to see who has seen it, and of course it helps you remember if you've seen it or not, because if you see your comment says replay, then you've watched it. But I'll give it a couple of seconds to see if any of you can jump on live. I came in here earlier and I was doing the live, and then my mom called me, and I ran out of my office and I left my Scentsy go on, and my office smells so good now. It smells so good. I wanted to come live and talk to you guys about your journey. So we've all heard different sayings, you know, enjoy the journey. What's your why? What are your goals? Don't compare yourself. We've all heard it, right? Now, for so long, I wasted time comparing myself to others. Watching people, you know, recruit left and right. Watching people hit 2,000K a month. Watching people promote to titles that I want to promote to faster than I did. Even now, sometimes I see somebody and I'm like, wow, she's only been doing it for like 2 years and she's a director. I've been here for 6 years and I'm not a director yet, you know? So it happens. We compare ourselves. But I remember Heidi and Orville talking in a training or at Scentsy Family Marine, I can't remember exactly where, and they were talking about journeys. And they said, it doesn't matter how fast you get to the finish line, as long as you get to the finish line. When they said that, my first thought was, I'm still in the race. I haven't given up. I haven't stopped running. I might be walking, I might be jogging, but I haven't quit the race. You know, so many people quit the race because they don't get to that finish line as fast as Annie or as fast as Maria or as fast as Stephanie. But does it really matter as long as you're moving and you're progressing? It doesn't. Now, I'm not talking about people that sit around and do nothing and expect to win the race. I'm talking about the people that are out there training and the people that are out there running the race. People that are out there on this path and they're, you know, they see the finish line and they're still trying to get to that finish line. Because if you don't have the vision, if you don't see that goal, if you don't see that finish line, first of all, you don't know where you're going, right? You might be running, but you might be running in circles. You might be running in the wrong direction. You might be running, you know, east when you should be going north. So you really have to put that vision into place first. You need to be able to see that finish line. When you see that finish line, when you see that vision, your goal, your why, then you start running. But guess what? You also have to train yourself, because it's not easy to run a marathon if you haven't trained. So that's what the trainings are for. That's what Scentsy's training call is for. That's what YouTube videos are for. That's what our training here is for. Any training that our superstar director does, those are the trainings that you need so that you can get your business in the best shape so you can run the race. Now, as you're running this race, you can't be looking around, because then you're going to lose sight of the finish line. You have to be looking forward, okay? And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about, is being in competition with your best self. What is the best that you have done? Is it 200 every 3 months? Is it 200 every month? Is it 500 every month? Is it 1,000 every month? What is your best self? Now, this is what I started doing in May. I started going to my team tab on my workstation, and all the way on the bottom it has a collective chart of your PRV, your group wholesale volume, team wholesale volume over the months and years. So I started comparing the year that I started to this year. And I went through every single year. And whatever my best May was, I wanted to outdo it. So if my best May was 500, I wanted to at least do 550 to 600. If my best June was 300, I wanted to do at least 500 and above. Because my goal is 500. Well, actually, technically, my goal right now is 2,000. But I know that as a leader, I have to do at least 500. So that's like my minimum goal. But I wanted to outdo myself. So I'm competing with my best self. Because guess what? I'm not Chloe Cox. I'm not Katie Farner. I'm not Kimberly Polita. I'm not Kate Lundquist. I am Liz Mercado. That's who I am. That's who I have to compete with. The person in the mirror. The person that is growing my business. Because guess what? All these leaders that I just mentioned, they're amazing. They have amazing training. But they're not running my business. They're running their business. They're growing their business when they put the tools to work. If I put the tools to work or train myself as this racer on this race, on this journey, I will be able to build my business. But it's also in my time, in the time that the Lord has for me, right? And it's so hard sometimes for us to focus on that. I admit it. There's times where I get frustrated and I'm like, well, why is it that I'm giving out 10 possibility packets like Katie Farner says and I'm not recruiting like she says? Maybe I need to learn something. Maybe I need to give it time. Maybe I'm not reaching the right people. I'm pretty sure there's months maybe that she doesn't recruit. Or maybe there's months that she does recruit, but they fall off. Or, like all those things. So we don't know their story. We don't know all the details. We just know that they shared training. And a lot of their training is because of experience, but we don't know all the fine details. We don't know if she's giving out 30, 40, 50 join packets a month, and she's just giving us the task of giving out 10 because she knows that 10 might be hard or that 10 might be a good number to start out with. We don't really know. So instead of focusing on what your sponsor's doing, on what your other teammates are doing, on what that person's doing, and oh my gosh, that girl at the state fair had like so much stock, I will never be able to do events because I don't have that kind of stock, or I'm not good at home parties and like Liz is, or like Rachel is, or whatever it is. Don't waste your time on that. Don't waste your time and energy. That's not a good place to put your time and your energy. You need to be putting your time and energy into saying, that's where I'm headed. How do I get there? I'm headed to that finish line, to my goal. Whatever your goal is. If your goal is to say, I'm going to do 300 PRV every month, or I'm going to pay for Christmas cash, or I'm going to take my husband on a vacation, or I am going to pay for my kids' college, or I'm going to quit my job. Whatever your goal is, you put it at that finish line. And then you look for all the things that you have to do to get to that finish line. You train yourself as a runner, as this person on this journey, and you get there. Whatever it is. If you, for example, want to do, your goal is 300 PRV, you need to book parties. But if you want to quit your job, you need to be recruiting. You need to be doing parties. So the training is different. That is why comparison is not good. We cannot compare ourselves because we are not on the same journey. Someone that is trying to reestablish their income with Scentsy as their income with their job is not going to do it doing 2 parties a month. But someone that their goal is 300 PRV or 400 PRV, they can do that with 2 parties a month. They can do that with just Scent Crate subscriptions. They can do that with just follow-ups. So when we sit there and we compare ourselves, we're just wasting time and energy because we're not on the same journey. We might look at it as, oh, we're all running the same race. We're all Scentsy consultants. Yes. But our finish line is totally different. Our finish line is not at all comparable to Becky's and Stephanie and, I don't know. I can't even come up with names. But for a long time, for a really long time, I compared myself, and I would get down on myself. I'd say, I'm not good enough. I don't know how to recruit. I don't know how to lead. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that, because I kept comparing myself to people that were not on my journey. Now, some of these people, like Chloe Cox, she had a lot of similar dreams that I do. She retired her husband and helped him build his new business. She retired herself. She bought a house. Those are all dreams that I have. Don't get me wrong. So you can say, well, you can compare yourself because you guys have like the same finish line. But we still don't. She's in North Carolina. I'm in Florida. She was a working full-time nurse. I stay at home with my kids. We don't have the same tools that we need. I mean, yes, we have the same tools from Scentsy, but what I'm saying is she's constantly surrounded by people. I'm not. I have to look for ways to surround myself with people. I have to look for ways to meet new people. She has that out already. Not saying she has the upper hand, because if she was somebody that was introvert, somebody that was shy, that wouldn't really help her anyway. But she used that tool and got herself to where she wanted to be. I learned after a long time, because I focused, again, my energy was on focusing on comparing myself, not in looking for the way to get there. I learned that, hey, I need to get into moms groups on Facebook. I need to meet other moms. I need to talk to the dance school, my daughter's dance class, for a fundraiser. I need to, talk to the girls at my daughter's school, which, like today, I took them a goodie bag. From my open house, I had leftover samples, and I put everything in, and I literally just told them that. I said, I had an open house on Friday, had some leftover goodie bags, here you go, enjoy. Ta-da! I'm getting myself out there. So there's always a way for you to achieve your goal, but you have to look for that. You have to find what works for you and what doesn't. Because what works for you might not work for someone on your team. What works for you might not work for you. So you really have to work what works for you. Be there for your team. I'm not saying don't be there, but don't focus on what their journey looks like. Yes, help them, train them, be there for them, talk with them, communicate with them. But don't be focused. Don't put your energy and your focus on, well, so-and-so did 500 PRV 3 months in a row and I can only get 200. It's not going to do anything for you except bring you down. That's all it's going to do. And I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart. I'm telling you this from personal experience. I've been with Scentsy for almost 6 years. And for the first, I would say almost 4 years, I have been stuck. Because my focus, even though it was like on my business, it was all over the place. My focus was on, well, I want to be like Katie Farner. Well, I want to be like Kimberly Polita. Well, I want to be like Kate Lundquist. Well, I want to be like Chloe Cox. Well, I want to be like Edie Ann. I want to be like, I need to be me. I need to be me, and I need to enjoy my journey. Like Heidi and Orville said, it doesn't matter how fast you get to the finish line, as long as you get there. It doesn't matter. If it takes you a year, if it takes you 2, if it takes you 3, it doesn't matter as long as you don't give up on yourself and you continue going towards that finish line. Now that you're focused on yourself, you're going to be your own best competition. You're going to compete with yourself. Those of you that have been with Scentsy for a little over a year or more, you can do a year by year. You can check, what was my best September? I'm going to beat that best September. What was my best October? I'm going to beat that best October. If you haven't been with Scentsy for a year, then you can do, what was my best month ever? My best month was 200 or 300 or 1,000. I'm going to outdo my best month. I have been doing this for the past couple of months, and it has given me so much like drive to just outdo myself. I'm not outdoing Rachel. I'm not outdoing Ashton. I'm not outdoing whoever. I'm outdoing myself. Because guess what? When I do that, I grow. I'm looking for ways to get better. I'm looking for ways to get more sales. I'm looking for ways to get more team members that way. Because I say, okay, my best September, I don't know my numbers right now because I haven't done September yet. But I think my best October was 800. And so I'm like, okay, I want to do at least 880 to 1,000. Like, that's my goal. And I'm almost there. I'm almost there, and I have one last order to put in. Then I say, okay, well, in August I recruited one person, so I want to recruit 2. Now, if you recruited 4 people in 1 month, and then you didn't recruit people all year, be realistic and say, hey, I'm going to put my goal as 1 or 2. If I can get 4 again, that'd be great. But at least 1 and 2. If your best month was like 10,000, and you know every other month you've struggled to get 1,000, don't shoot for 10,000, because what happens is then you let yourself down. Get off your behind and get to your goal. Now, to that finish line might look very far off. Like right now, my finish line is 6 years. My finish line is to retire my husband by the time that we're 40. I do have little stops, little finish lines before that. You know, hit superstar director, hit star director, hit director. Like, I have those little lines that are like little goals. And you can do that if you want to start out small. If you want to say my finish line is going to be to do 500 PRV in September, do that. Do that. And, you know, do everything you can to get that. Get the parties on your books. Get the follow-ups done. You know, talk to people about the new catalog. Talk to people about the new harvest collection. Do what you have to do to get there. Train yourself. Go back and look at training videos on our group page. Go to YouTube and look for training videos. You can literally search anything on YouTube. Scentsy and sales, Scentsy and events, Scentsy and parties, and so much will come up. I have training videos on the YouTube channel. So look for those tools and train yourself to be that runner for that specific race, right? So I don't want to drag this out too long, but I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's working for me. I think it can work really for anyone if you're just focused on competing with your best self and not focus on running against everybody else that's in the race. We're not in an actual race. Scentsy is a family company. We are not here to hate on somebody or dislike that person over there. We are a family. If you have ever gone to a Scentsy event, whether it's World Tour or World Premiere or Scentsy Family Reunion, you're going to meet your few people that are not Scentsy spirit. I'm not going to lie. I sometimes even ask why are you a Scentsy? But 9 out of 10, you're going to meet people that are full of Scentsy spirit. People that are like your long lost sisters and brothers. People that are happy to see you. I can't remember his name. I know Rachel knows his name because Rachel's actually the one that showed me his YouTube channel, but I can't remember his name. But I met him at Reunion and he hugged me like he was like a cousin or something. Like he was like, oh my gosh, come here, girl. And I'm just like, he doesn't know who I am. I know who he is because he's like a YouTube star, you know, like he's a Scentsy YouTube star. He doesn't know who I am. I don't even have him on my Facebook. But guess what? He knows that we're connected by Scentsy. And guess what? He has inspired me to build my YouTube channel and to get better with showcasing stuff by using YouTube. But again, it's not a race. I'm not trying to outdo him on YouTube channels. I'm doing Liz. I'm over here doing my own thing. He's doing his own thing. But he inspired me. That's different than competing. You can have 10,000 people from Scentsy inspire you. One of my new biggest inspirations is Wendy Newgrass. Oh my gosh, she is such a sweetheart. Do not judge books by their covers because I prejudged her, and I'm not going to lie. The first time I saw a picture of her, I was like, she looks a little snobby to me. She is so darling. She doesn't even have a mean bone in her body. And she opened up her director drive to a group of us from Reunion. And I'm just like, wow, like she's just like overpowering and overflowing with all this information. And I'm just like, that is what we need to be doing. We need to focus on sharing and not competing. Not competing. Don't keep stuff for yourself. Don't keep stuff for yourself. Don't sit there and say, well, this is working for me. I'm not going to give anybody else because I don't want them to be successful. No, that's not Scentsy spirit. Share. Be grateful for finding something that works. Because so many of us, including yourselves, have tried stuff that don't work. So when something worked, share it. Share it with the world. Who knows who might find something and who might find that, and that's going to work for them, and that's going to make them stay with Scentsy. I am so sad when somebody falls off and I feel like I cannot make them see the dream. Like, I know it's not my fault. I don't blame myself, but I'm just like, why did they not see it? Like, why did they not see what I see? Like, how is Scentsy not blessing their lives? Like, how can Scentsy... I feel like Scentsy can bless everyone's life. Everyone's life. So I'm like, how did they not see that? And sometimes it goes to the fact that we don't share enough. We don't share what we're doing. We don't share the things that we have found. We don't share the things that we have found train us to keep going on this race. So they feel like, oh, I don't have water. I don't have, you know, the running sneakers. I don't have the tools. I don't have the trainer. We have to share. We have to give them that water. We have to give them the right tools to keep running that race. And yes, they need to get their own motivation because we can't give motivation. But I feel like when we hold stuff within us that we don't want to share because, oh, I don't want them to, you know, to take this over, we're kind of being greedy. And I feel like people can sense that even though they might not know what we're holding back. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that this is something that will inspire you guys to do, something that will get you a little focus on where to go, because sometimes we're like, oh, okay, a new month is coming, like, you know, I have my goal, but you don't really have like an exact goal. But now with this, competing against your best self, whether it's year after year or the best month that you've had, you have a number. You have a number that you're starting out with. Doesn't matter how big or small. This is your journey. This is your race. And I hope that you do everything possible to get to that finish line. I will see you guys at the finish line at the end of September, because I know that you guys are all go-getters. I know that you guys are all amazing tinker stars, and you guys will go after your dreams. So put that vision, put that number, put those recruits on your, at the end of your race, at your, oh my gosh, I just lost the word, at the end of your race, and finish line, at the finish line, and let's go for it. I love you guys. I'm so excited for this new season, and I can't wait to see what's in store, especially for all the newbies that have joined us this year during the spring, because I'm telling you, fall and winter is amazing. Fall and winter, if you embrace it and you work your business, will surprise you how big it can be. So I'm super, super excited to see what you guys, how you guys outdo yourselves, and what goals we achieve. I'm really excited. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Bye.